So, I know why you're here, because you've seen the video title 11 plus exam preparation in 2 months, and it's enticed you, hasn't it? The thought of using just 2 months to prepare your child for one of the most competitive exams that they're ever likely to sit, be it for a grammar school or an independent school, and you want to do it in just 2 months, 8 weeks, a nice crash course, and just get the job done. And you want some tips on how to do that. Keep watching and let's see what the outcome is. Okay, so quick introduction to those who are new to this channel. My name is Joycelyn Akufo. I'm the Managing Director of Geek School Tutoring. We're based in the southeast, so Beckenham, Catford, Lewisham are locations for our centres, and we are also online. So if you're looking for a reputable, experienced tuition provider for the 11 plus, go along to geekschool.co.uk and you will get lots of information, and you can book an assessment and so on, and get your child along the way for preparation of the 11 plus exams. Now, let's get to the main meal, as I like to call it, and it's whether you can prepare your child for the 11 plus exam in 2 months. And I say whether because not every child can be prepared in 2 months. And it's not just about ability per se. People often make it seem like only the very, very, very super bright children, you know, the ones who are like born geniuses, they don't really have to do much. They're wired differently. They've got so much intelligence. It's like they're another species, you know, a walking geek. Obviously I would say that, Geek School Tutoring and all of that, and they are just, you know, amongst the Mensa children of the world, etc., etc. So before we carry on with this amazing video, please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so that you will get notified every time a new Geek School video goes up. Enjoy! I'm here to tell you that it's not true. I've seen children who have steadily worked hard and who have reached academic excellence that isn't just in preparation for the exam, the 11 plus exams, but will put them in good stead in their academic careers just because they have been taught the foundational skills of studying and learning and built their confidence and so on. It's not these peculiar children, unusual children that attend grammar and independent schools only. Yes, you get some extremely bright children, of course you do. But then there are children who also work hard, who might not be at that academic peak as, you know, the ones who score 100% consistently. But it's a big gap between scoring 100% and say 85%. And I use that percentage because generally it's the top 15% of children who attend grammar schools and independent schools. So let's talk about this 2-month deadline. So let's just say it's the summer term of year 5, and maybe you've just found out about the 11 plus exams. You know that your child is very capable. Is it possible for my child to be prepared for the 11 plus exams in time for September if I register him or her? I've been asked this question so many times. Like, if I had a tenner for every time I'd been asked this, you know, I'm sure I would have got at least maybe a month's worth of my very favourite hot beverage, caramel latte at one of my favourite coffee shops. We won't mention the name, but if you know, it's the white and green coloured cup. We'll just leave it there. I would have a month's supply easily of that, and that would mean going in a couple of times a day. Anyway, let's get back to it. If your child is in the top set at school, has always managed schoolwork very easily, in fact tends to finish everything ahead and is very accurate, and is very quick to pick new information and learning up, there's a good chance that they can be prepared in that short time frame. But you need to get your child's buy-in. This is the thing that I come across as well, in that parents, obviously we want the best for our children, and you know, we aspire for our children to get the best that's possible, but sometimes the children just don't care. There's no other way of saying it. And you know, I'm not going to pretend that all children want to do the 11 plus and so on. Some of them don't care because they don't understand the purpose of doing all this extra work when they know their friends are spending time on their Xboxes, their Nintendo Switches, they're playing out all the time. What's this new game that's taking over? Oh, the name will come to me, I'm sure, hopefully in this video. But basically, they don't understand why all of a sudden their free time is being encroached on with these videos. I mean, these papers, my apologies. You know, obviously preparation for the 11 plus requires lots of practice. It requires lots of practice. Even those children that I've mentioned before who seem to just, you know, glide through life, glide through school, seemingly without much support and help, you know, they're just born geniuses. I bet you anything that at some point in time in their lives, their parents invested a lot of time or money with tuition, or time in coaching them and building that strong foundation. And at some point things started to click and they have just carried on that journey ever since. You know, just like how children learn to walk because they see adults and older ones walking and aspire for that. Children also learn to learn based on the environment that they're in. And so love for learning generally comes from something, you know, or somewhere. And so a child who hasn't got that passion, it can literally feel like you're dragging them through that process. And if it's just 2 months you have, that can make it an uphill struggle. You know, children like that generally don't tend to do so well because they don't invest in, they're not vested in wanting to learn. They just don't care. And so it can make it quite difficult, you know. Unless you can get your child's buy-in, the 11 plus might not be feasible. I know that's probably not what any parent wants to hear, but I make it a point to be as honest and open and honest as possible concerning the 11 plus, because it's quite grueling. A lot of the children have been preparing for these exams for months, for years, some of them. And so when you're faced competitively with those children, if they've been prepared well over that period of time, and then you've got a child who isn't bothered, isn't doing any of the homework, won't go over the times tables that they need to, and all of that type of thing, it just might not happen. Is it possible? Yes, if the child wants to do it, if they're working at a good standard and they're prepared to put the work in, it's possible. I've seen it happen. Every year I've seen it happen where parents have either found out really late about the 11 plus because it's like this hidden playground secret, or maybe because of the financial impact of paying for tuition over the long haul. We run summer intensive classes, and many parents who are new to us get in touch at that stage to get their child that final push. And, you know, if the child really wants it, you'll see their thirst and hunger for learning, and, you know, everything that they don't understand, they're checking and asking. Those children tend to do very well. They don't all pass, because sometimes they need another month or 3 months of preparation. And of course, you can't turn back the time, you know, but many of them do, because they really want it. They're ready to fight for it, and they put in the time to go through the grammar rules, understand their maths and so on, and really go for it, and they can. So, is it possible to prepare for the 11+ exams in 2 months? It's possible, but it depends on the child. It also depends on the support, because some parents will say to their child, you know, it doesn't matter if you pass or not, with the right intention, mainly not to pressurize the child, which is a good thing. But sometimes hearing those words can put a child who would have put everything into it in a positive way. So in other words, not growing anxious or worried about the exam, can put them at a point of relaxation. So they don't really go for it as much as they would have done if they didn't hear those words. It's such a balancing game being a parent. I've got 2 children myself who have both gone through the whole process, grammar schools, independent schools, and so on. I did the 11+ exams. If you're familiar with this channel, you've heard me give snippets of my experience, so you know that I understand it from the children's perspective as well. It's quite a lonely journey, having to do all of these papers and the practice and so on. And because it's usually in summer that the bulk of the work is done, because obviously school is closed for the summer holidays. There are longer days to work with paper-wise and revision-wise and so on. So it can be hard for a lot of students, but with the right support and with the right system in place, routine of working and consistency, oh, that word consistency is so vital in the 11+ prep. If you only have 2 months left and you think that doing 1 paper a week, as in 1 paper a week, so we'll do maths this week, next week we'll do English, the following week maybe we'll do verbal reasoning, and then the next non-verbal reasoning. It's just not feasible, really, especially if your preparation is just starting. The first thing you need to do is a baseline test. So you head over to Bond 11+, you know, the publishers of the Bond books. They've got so many free papers on there, bless them. But one of the papers they have is the placement test. And they have it for all 4 areas, so maths, English, verbal and non-verbal reasoning. Let your child do that test, see what the score is. And it's quite good in that, you know, Bond books tell you what the percentage score means for your child. So if they score a particular score, it will say, you know, you need to do more practice in this area, or, you know, you're doing excellently, keep working at this level. Or if it's really low, it will say say something like, you know, you really need to go back and look at the foundation topics, like take each topic or go down a level in the books. So that can be quite informative. So as a guide, children shouldn't really be getting below 85% in their papers to be in with a chance, and it needs to be consistent across all the papers. So getting 90% one day, 80% the other, 62% the other day, or speak of some issues. So Obviously, all the papers are not exactly the same, but there are core areas that are generally tested in, let's say, the maths papers. You know, you can expect to see fractions, percentages, decimals in every maths paper generally. English comprehension, the grammar rules, you can expect that your child would need to know nouns, adjectives, adverbs, and so on. And for verbal and non-verbal reasoning, depending on the type of paper, whether it's GL or SEM, if you're not sure of what that means, keep looking at the videos and watching the videos on this channel, because I do explain the differences between them in other videos. But effectively, those inconsistent scores are red flags for a lack of deep understanding. Sometimes there are foundational topics that the child doesn't really understand, or they understand bits of it but not all of it, and so there are gaps. All of these areas need to be addressed in order to help your child raise the score on their papers and produce consistency in their scores across the papers. It's crucial. It's not about rushing to the 10 to 11 books for the 11 plus preparation. You'd be better off starting at, say, the 9 to 10 books, seeing that your child really understands the work in them, the questions, that there aren't any gaps. And if they don't get to the 10 to 11 books, it does not mean that they will not pass the 11 plus exams. Oh, how many parents panic when their children come to Geek School, do an assessment, and I suggest the 9 to 10 books. You can almost see the blood drain from some parents' faces. It's like, oh, will there be enough time? Yes, there will, because it's about understanding what is being asked of them, rather than rushing through the 10 to 11 book, losing confidence because the questions are pitched at such high level when your child is trying to understand how to do those questions. And so rushing doesn't help. It really doesn't help at all. Consistency and routine of doing the work, a good, solid, clear plan of action, starting with a placement test, will go a very long way. So my final answer to that question, I know it seems like I'm sitting on the fence. Can you prepare your child for the 11 plus exams in 2 months? Yes, it's possible, but it depends on that child's individual circumstances. There it is. It's not a sitting on the fence answer. It's a realistic answer. I'm not here to lie to parents. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it useful. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification so that YouTube will let you know when a new video goes up. And remember to put a comment. I want to know how you found this video. Was it helpful? Would you like some other content similar to this? What questions do you have that I may be able to answer in a video like this one, and so on. And remember to share it. Share the love. See you in the next video. Bye.